Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sacred Sisterhood podcast. This week's episode, I am going to be talking about receiving, as that has been a huge theme in my life as well as my clients' lives, just really allowing ourselves to open up to receiving the fruitfulness that is upon us right now in this time. It has been such a cosmically charged time. I don't even have to get into it anymore because we all know this. All the solar flares. We're in Mercury retrograde now. But here's the thing. I really want to emphasize to not play into the drama of Mercury retrograde, because everything in our cosmos has been changing and upgrading as we've been shifting into this new dimension, as we've been creating a new grid for a new Earth. The other planets, the other star systems are also upgrading and shifting to a higher vibration. So Mercury retrograde is not going to affect us the way it has in the past, as long as we don't give Mercury in retrograde the power to completely allow our lives to flip upside down. Yes, there's things that are going to come forward. Yes, there's going to be some disruptions, etc., but it's all for a greater purpose. It's all for a higher purpose. And really, whatever we are creating in our reality is as a result of our thoughts and beliefs. So feed into the belief that Mercury retrograde is going to be a different kind of retrograde this time. It's going to be here to benefit us. It's going to be here to bring more magic into our lives, to expand us. And this has been a theme that I'm seeing for July, is that when we walk, who we were walking into July and who we are walking out is going to be completely different. And this is the month for us to fully receive everything that we have been working towards, everything that we have been shifting inside, because a lot of light workers, a lot of healers, a lot of humans that have been on this ascension path and really starting to operate from 5D and really letting go of the 3D. We know that manifestation is supposed to be instant right now, but there's a lot of people that aren't seeing it immediately, the instant manifestation. Well, guess what? This is the month for it. This is the month for you to fully receive everything that you have already been working towards, everything that you've been aligning with. This is it. This is the month. It's important that we allow ourselves to receive. It's important that we open ourselves up to such, because so many humans have been very anchored in the struggle matrix. Have to work hard to get this, have to do this to get this. And we're really letting go of the need to get, but rather allowing things to unfold in divine timing. So that's been I'm not sure what words I'm trying to seek here, but that's okay. I'm going to come back to it. Of really just letting go of any of that need and just allowing everything to unfold, allowing ourselves to hold more light and radiate more light, and trusting that everything that's meant to come to us will come to us, right? So in this place, we need to really, as I just said, we don't need to be needing anymore. However, right now, the glue that's been holding us to the third dimension is gone, which means that we have been replaying old cycles and old patterns just because of old habits. But that glue that's been sticking us to the third dimension has completely disintegrated. It actually happened in 2012. That's when the Mayan calendar ended. It's just that now, with all of this cosmic light shifts that's been happening, we have elevated our frequency with Mother Gaia to support the fifth dimension reality, new Earth reality. So we are giving the opportunity to create our version of heaven on new Earth. But in order to do so, we have to be in a place of receptivity and not resisting where we are now, because it's very easy to be like, okay, I've cracked all the codes. I understand wealth consciousness. I understand that prosperity, infinite flowing through me is of me. I understand that divine consciousness is me. I understand that I am God. I understand all of that. I've cracked all the codes. I understand that in order to attract things into my life, I must be radiating and vibrating at that frequency, and that It's my divine birthright to be in that place of instantly manifesting or whatever that I desire coming to fruition. I understand all that, but why aren't I seeing it? Right? Here's the thing. Our external reality has been slowly upgrading. It's been like an outdated version of what's going on in our internal reality. Our internal reality has upgraded so quickly, especially like with our accelerated ascension the last few months with all of these light upgrades, and there are light body activations coming down every single day that are activating parts of our DNA that we didn't even know existed. Every day that's coming through, our consciousness is rapidly expanding. However, so many humans haven't seen that reflected out. And so it's been very easy for them to lose faith and to think that, start creating the story that they're doing something wrong and start creating the story that they're out of alignment and so forth. We need to nip that in the bud right now, is specifically this month of July, which is so greatly the month where we are going to be picking the fruit off of the tree after we've spent so much time watering it and fertilizing it and nurturing it and loving it and watching it grow and right? So in order for us to really open ourselves up to receiving such, we need to be in a place of accepting where we are now and not resisting the current reality. If we're in a place of resisting the current reality, we are blocking the next updated external reality upgrade to come into our experience, right? So something that has been very powerful for my clients that I work with, the women in my tribe, as well as myself, is to really, really, really soak in the abundance of the now. And that is where, as Eckhart Tolle says, is the presence of the now, right? Not giving our energy to the future, not giving our energy to the past, because those are all different timelines, and to just be really, really ultra aware of where we are now and soaking in the moment and fully receiving it. Okay, so like, what do you think about it when you pour yourself a bath and you set your intention that's going to be a healing bath? But you've had a day where you're working really hard, your body's tired, you're exhausted maybe because of the kids, you got in a fight with your husband or whatever, and you soak in that bath, but you still aren't really like receiving the healing because you're just like feeling very disconnected and frustrated and so forth, that you come out of the bath, even though you know it was good for you, you still don't feel that much better. It's because you weren't allowing yourself to fully receive it. Right? So being super present in the moment and not giving your energy to what's to come and not giving your energy to what's already happened is very, very important for us to get to that place of no longer resisting where we are in our current reality. And that's learning how to be grateful for those imbalances and disharmonies that we may be seeing right now, knowing that we are expanding our consciousness around such, and it is already healing and upgrading because we are doing so. And we don't need to see the physical manifestation of it in order to believe that. We can feel the physical manifestation before it's appeared, right? And that's like manifesting 101, right? It's allowing yourself to feel into the experience before you've actually physically created it, right? And so that's what allows that to slip into your dimension, is you vibrating and experiencing and being in resonance with the frequency of that. So it's very easy, if you look at your bank account and, it's in the red, to start to play into these fear stories and that there's not enough, etc., rather than trusting that the abundance is coming, right? Because it's very easy that we will block ourselves from receiving that abundance if we're playing into old fear patterns that, oh shit, scarcity, there's not enough, I'm not being taken care of, and all sorts of things. Then the universe is not going to be able to take care of us if we're still playing into that thought pattern. And we have to be really, really careful of our thoughts right now, because it begins to manifest as soon as we create it. So if we go down a thought spiral, a worry spiral around money, you are creating more struggle, more scarcity. Whereas if you, rather than giving your power away to what you're seeing reflected in your bank account right now, trusting that it's coming in and feeling into that vibration and operating from that frequency and receiving like the luxury regal frequency of that before you see it reflected in your bank account, because it will reflect in your bank account the longer you lock in and the longer you anchor in that frequency of luxury, of regalness, of abundance, of prosperity, right? So despite what's going on in your bank account, you can still find other things to really appreciate the abundance in your life. Like, walking in nature is one of my favorite ways to really, if I'm feeling disconnected from feeling grateful and joyful and appreciative of the abundance in my life, I go out in nature and I see the leaves on the trees. There is an abundance of leaves on the trees. There is an abundance of flowers in that flower bed. There is an abundance of blades of grass and vegetation and moss growing on the trees, and just like really seeing the fruitfulness of Mother Earth, because that is our own birthright. That is our natural state, is to have this infinite abundance flowing through us, just like it does through Mother Earth and her trees and her flowers, because we know that even in the wintertime when things are bare and things aren't growing, we know that it's inevitable that in springtime things are going to pop and bloom. It's inevitable, right? So we have to honor the cycles of our lives and trusting that is our natural state, and finding those things to be grateful for the abundance in our lives at that time. It could be something as simple as, you know what? I am so grateful for this opportunity to heal. I am grateful that my higher self brought this into my awareness so that I can expand my consciousness around this subject so I can heal it and transcend it. Focusing on that as abundance, really feeling into the love between you and your partner, really allowing yourself to soak in that bathtub and, having the fresh flower petals in your bath water and crystals and candles and bath salts, and just really, putting on some music and really just soaking in the sensuality of it because you deserve it, and really just absorbing everything and tasting everything so fully and smelling it and being very receiving like a queen, right? When you think of a queen, how does she receive the adoration from her king? Is she, blocking it and be like, nah? No. She appreciates when he comes around and gives her a hug. She appreciates it when he puts his hand on the small of her back. She appreciates it when he peels her extra potatoes, when he's making himself a little snack or dinner or whatever. Appreciating that fully and give gratitude for that. So just really when you're in this place in your life of recognizing that, okay, yes, I need to work on receiving more. How can I receive this moment more? How would a queen receive this moment, right? And it's also very important to look at how are you taking care of yourself, because the universe can only take care of you as good as you are taking care of yourself. It's not like the universe doesn't want to give us things, doesn't want to give us money, doesn't want to give us our soulmate. That's not the natural law of the universe. She wants us to have all of it. She wants us to truly recognize our sovereign God selves and have all this lavish abundance and prosperity and love and ease pouring through us. That is our natural state. It's just that we've been conditioned and programmed to forget all of that. And so now is the place of us really coming home to really getting to that place of opening ourselves up to receive our divine birthrights, which is our natural state. So really take a good look without judgment. We're not here to shame ourselves and judge ourselves. That is of the past. We're no longer doing that. Am I right, ladies? We're no longer doing that. Really take a look at how am I showing up in all the areas of my life, and how am I taking care of myself in those areas? Am I allowing people to walk all over me? Am I not setting boundaries with my husband? Am I not setting boundaries around my time and my self-care time? Am I getting myself the vitamins and the supplements that my body requires? Am I, cheaping out on my groceries rather than getting myself good quality fruits and vegetables? Am I, like really look at how you are taking care of yourself. When you come home from a hard days of work, are you then numbing out by scrolling through your social media, and next thing you know, it's like an hour and a half has passed and you really haven't done anything besides numb your mind? Or are you pouring yourself a bath, pouring yourself a glass of wine, maybe putting some dinner on and being really sensual and playful with it? It's so, so important for us to be taking care of ourselves in these little pockets of time of what is best for my mind right now, what is best for my body right now, what's best for my energy right now. It's doing the things like having set boundaries around how much time you are looking at a screen. Not looking at your phone the first hour and the last hour before bed, because that opens you up to really wonky energies, right? Just spending time to read before bed rather than watching Netflix. I mean, if you're someone that doesn't watch a lot of Netflix like me, I think it's totally okay to, watch a movie here and there. And sometimes you just need that evening of just binge watching, because it's not very often that you do it. So that is a form of self-care, but it's also having really strong boundaries around it. Just if having 2 or 3 glasses of wine a week is something that really brings you joy, is you're cooking dinner, do that. It's when you're drinking half a bottle of wine every single night that it's clear you don't have strong boundaries around it. That's very harmful for you. The same goes for smoking weed. Are you having a toke here and there on the weekends, just chill it out? Or are you smoking every day, all day? It's a very different narrative. It's a very different energy around it, right? So remember, how well you take care of yourself is how well the universe will take care of you. And because we are in this place that July is very much, this is our receiving of heaven on earth, it's important that we be doing all of our little tools and tricks to help us be in the place of receiving. Doing whatever we can to clear any resistance to what our current experience is, as well as clearing any resistance to the desires that we desire to create and bring into our life. Is there still some worthiness wounds of feeling like you're not worthy of such that is a big, huge block against you creating more wealth, more luxury, more abundance in your life, right? There goes my amethyst. Just dropped it, so I'm sure there was a big bang. So, as well as just really trusting that and allowing yourself to be guided, really allowing yourself to be led by your angels, by God, by the divine, by source energy, whatever, by the universe, whatever language suits you. I flip-flop back and forth depending on the day. But just really allowing yourself to be led by the divine masculine presence within, right? It's so easy for us to be completely in our feminine, flowing and all the way going all over the place and being wish-washy. It's important for us to have that structure and feel held within ourselves by the divine masculine within, and really trusting that divine guidance that comes through and allowing ourselves to be led rather than trying to micromanage and be like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. No. Focus first and foremost about your energy. How much light are you holding? How much light are you radiating? And it's in that place that everything comes to us with ease. We create from ease. We are more light, and therefore everything's just easier. And we're in alignment. But of course this manifested. But of course, right? Of course this client came through. Of course. You know what I mean? So it's very easy, if we haven't seen instant manifestation or we've been working really hard and we haven't seen that reflection in our bank account, to play into the story that we're not being taken care of and that we're doing something wrong. But this is your opportunity to heal and transcend that and just allow yourself to be held. Okay, God, I'm ready to be led by you. I'm ready to be guided by you. I'm ready to be held by you. I leave it up to you. I surrender this to you. And just softening your belly, softening your body, and just open yourself up to that. Receive that. Allow yourself to receive. We are like our number one blockers, right? We just have to shift the energy within us for all the floodgates to open and everything to come our way, right? And trusting that it is coming and feeling into the vibration of that rather than getting tripped out about what's happening in the external reality that's not reflecting yet all the inner change that you've done. I'm just reading my notes here to see if there's anything else that wants to come through on this subject. I guess, okay, really like focusing on the happiness and the things that are going right in your life rather than giving your energy and your power to the disharmonies. And trusting that the disharmonies are going to upgrade and catch up with all of the inner work that you've been doing. Because if you're listening to this podcast, I know you're doing your inner work. And we have been working so hard. And this isn't about needing to work hard to get. It's about doing our inner work to expand our consciousness to be the vessel to receive such. That was good. Expanding our consciousness around the subject to be the vessel to receive such because we are vibrating and resonating on that frequency. It's very easy, for us to just say, oh, I appreciate this, I'm grateful for this. But are you actually feeling that? Are you actually allowing yourself to get in your heart space and feel into the appreciation for this person, for this situation, for your dog, for the blessings in your life, for the money in your bank account, for the clients in your life, for all of it? Are you allowing yourself to actually feel it? Or are you kind of skipping that part? So just saying, oh, well, I write down my gratitudes every day. Yes, but are you feeling them? Are you really feeling them? And sometimes we have to switch it up. Maybe you aren't feeling it anymore when you write out your gratitude. So instead, maybe, putting on some music and going for a gratitude walk and really like beautiful, inspiring music and just get in nature and really just like start vibing out on the abundance that's in nature and the beauty that's in nature. And then allow yourself to start like looking at everything that's going right. I actually wrote this down in my journal a few days ago of where I was a year ago. I just moved to Salzburg. I was going through mad ego deaths. I was culture shocked. I was surrounded by thousands of tourists every day because we were in the city center. I was operating in fight, flight, freeze mode most of the time because I was triggered by having I was so energetically overwhelmed, right? But very much still playing into the victim, right? That the victim has been a very, very deep programming that I have shed and released to step into my queendom. And I was born into a family of victimhood, and moving away from that has really helped me transcend that a lot faster than if I would have stayed back in Canada. And then I looked at where was I 2 years ago? Okay, I was just coming out of a trauma. I was struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. I was feeling very confused about my life. I was in darkness. I thought I was going to have to put my dog down because she was not in a good place. All sorts of things, right? 3 years ago, I was living white picket fence lifestyle, preparing to get on a plane for the first time ever to go to a work conference trip in Nashville, Tennessee. I was in a long-term relationship with someone that was a narcissist, and I was just going through my awakening, so I was feeling his energy, and it was painful to be around him, and that's where I was 3 years ago. And so in this past year, I kind of wrote down what all templates have I dissolved and expanded my consciousness around to unlock the codes within to embody that frequency. And I started writing down, okay, I shed victimhood. I worked through grief. I had my best friend of 22 years. We broke up. I had to shed the guilt and the shame that I was carrying around moving away from my friends and family, and that was what triggered this friendship to dissolve. And I had to get to this point of giving myself permission to fully receive the beautiful heaven on earth that I've already created for myself, where I'm living across the world in this beautiful, ridiculously postcardic, picturesque place, Salzburg, with my Irishman fiance who's my soulmate, with my amazing dog who's been with me for almost 10 years now, and I'm doing very powerful soul-centered work and all the things, right? I've really worked on letting go of any unworthiness and seeking validation from the men in my lives, from the men in my life, from my dad, from my brothers, and really starting to see everyone as equals, even like my spiritual teachers that have been on this journey for years and years, no longer putting them up on a pedestal and really just seeing us all as equal and seeing us all as one, right? Just to name a few of the templates that I've shifted and expanded my consciousness. I've expanded my consciousness out of scarcity into wealth prosperity, which was a huge one for me. So it's important that we slow down and give ourselves credit for how much work we've done. So how much of the inner work, and actually like take time to be really pleased with ourselves for such. Because that's like worthiness 101. If we're not taking the time to be like appreciative towards ourselves for how we've taken care of ourselves, for how we've been showing up and doing the inner work, for how we're taking action in our business, for the life that we've already created, if we're not taking the time to do that, how is the universe going to keep delivering you more blessings if you're not even being appreciative towards yourself for everything that you've already done for yourself, for all the up-leveling, for all of the shifts, for all of everything, right? And so just ask, how can I be really pleased with myself in the moment? How can I appreciate myself in the moment? How can I treat myself today? How can I show myself more love, right? And the universe responds to that. And it so often is like one of the best ways to open yourselves up to closing that sale or attracting, random money into your life is to spend money on yourself. If your bank account only has $100 left in it, take 20 and go buy yourself something and really appreciate that. And I know it seems scary to do that because you're like, shit. But that is, you are showing yourself that you're trusting that more is coming in, that it's a flow, more is flowing in, that you spent it. Because money is energy, and energy doesn't like to be stuck and stay stagnant, and it doesn't like to contract. It likes to expand. That is its natural form. So by you spending it, you are moving that energy to call more in, right? And make sure you spend it on something that makes you feel good. Maybe it's taking yourself out for dinner, or, it's very important to be donating money, even if it's just like $5, to help open yourself up to more. It's you trusting that more is coming in, and it's you sharing your wealth. Even if right now your bank account's not reflecting that level of wealth. So we're coming up to 30 minutes here. I'm going to close it out on that note, tie it up with a pretty bow and release it out into the world. So that is what was coming through for how we can open ourselves up to receiving. And it really does come to this present moment. It really, really does come in trusting, surrendering and trusting and allowing. And it's coming in, baby. It's coming in. Everything that you've been creating in your meditations, it's here. You've already created it in another dimension. You just have to trust that it's going to slip into this reality soon. It's here. It's now. It's coming. So thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I will be in Spain next week to get married on the 20th. And the week after that, I have friends coming over to Salzburg to visit. So I'm going to be taking about a week and a half to 2 weeks off away from creating and away from social media and such to really allow myself to fully receive my wedding and the love of my family coming across the world and my friends and all of it. Really allowing myself to receive this heaven on earth. So please be patient if you don't see much social media activity. Just know that I am in a very, very beautiful place, and there will be a lot more to come August. So if you enjoyed the show, it would mean everything to me if you subscribed and if you left me a review on iTunes so that more people like yourself can find the show and can really benefit from the message that's coming through. And I also wanted to let you ladies know that I still do have a couple spots left open for Cosmic Radiance, which is my 6-month coaching package. And what Cosmic Radiance is it brings you through a very, very deep transformative process of really helping you develop the inner energetics of self-belief, trust in the universe, trust in the divine, really healing your mama and papa wounds so that you can bring sacred union between the masculine and feminine energies within, so that you can really powerfully radiate your bliss, your magic, your energy, your art, your writing, whatever it is that you feel called to do into the world, and to do so with ease, and really allowing yourself to be supported through the ascension process, because this is a very, very wild cosmic time and you don't need to do it alone. So for more information, I'm going to drop the link in the show notes that you can check out. And I'm still booking enrollment calls. My next enrollment calls probably won't be until beginning of August, just because of everything that's going on in my life right now. This beautiful, beautiful time. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and we will chat soon. Bye.